Hey everybody, John here from the Stroke Sweat Squad outside your comfort zone. I'll talk a little louder on the video since I'm farther away. Hadn't posted in a couple days, need to get back on the schedule here. I believe this video might be day 20. Let's see where we're at. Day 23, I'll assume. So, talk about, you see all these people are asking about assistive devices out there. There are all kinds of assistive devices out there for your finger, get your fingers working. The one I found in this was, I did some research back when I first had my stroke, and the Sabo glove. I still had too much tone and spasticity in my hand for the rubber band system that goes on these to work right. It does help me a little bit now in doing some tasks, but I'll use it to do simple workouts. Moving stuff around the table here because I don't want to wear the glove out. I had to replace the glove. So it's a cloth glove. You have to work your fingers into it and then pulling on your arm and then Velcro it in place. It does have a rubber band system that pulls the thumb outward. I guess I could try to put it on here, but I don't have the rubber bands down here with me. Stretch my fingers out a little bit. Get my hand to relax. Pretty relaxed, but then you stretch out the tendons a little bit. Not so. Support the elbow and stretch them down a little bit. Just to put this on. That's another thing is this is something I found I could put on myself and not require assistance. I think there's a next level up for Sabo that has a bridge system to it, and from people I talked to that have used it. It requires two people to do it, and normally just a therapist and possibly the patient to make it work right. When I'm talking to you, I'm putting this on, but I also put on a glove every day. So working something like this is something I've gotten used to over time. Just pull here and then get the thumb pulled in here. So it's an open palm type of glove, and if you hurt the rubber band system on the top and it pulls your fingers out straight, but it gives you resistance so you can actually try to use your, excuse me if I don't sneeze, use your hand and get some pull resistance back to straighten your hand back out again. See, start saying that messages back to your brain like grip, let go, grip, let go, grip, let go. This wraps around your wrist. This is a hard shell. Get this thing pulled back where it belongs, so this position on the wrist. You've got the little tabs and pull them over. Now it's locked in the wrist there, and then there's one that goes through the palm of the hand. A little hard to get through if your fingers get a lot of tone on them, and then it comes up here and locks into the tab up here. There. It's actually on. You can see my hands get from my shirt, so it's a little more. It's a little stable. You got this hard plastic cover over here that wraps around the wrist and locks down the wrist. It locks you so you can't move your wrist. That's about the only thing I don't like about it because it blocks out your wrist. But it forces you to use your fingers because you can't use your hand to do anything else. So you have to get the rubber bands on. Like I thought I should have actually brought them down, but I didn't do it. Maybe I'll do it later this week and redo the glove. But there's all kinds of helpful devices that are out there. This is like a training device to help you regain some function in your hand. There are a bigger one that's got like a bridge system to it, some cables, and like I said, my understanding from people I know that have used it, and from therapists that have worked with it, it's hard to get on and hard to get in the exact spot where it needs to be. You get everything adjusted right. And once it's done, it's okay, but it's still hard to get on and off. This one is pretty simple. When I got this, I think Sabo had this on sale for half price, like $99. So I couldn't pass up getting it for $99. I think it was like $200 regular because I knew eventually I would need to use this. So I bought it in advance to use later on down the road. There's ones out there that they're air pressure and they open and close your hand. There are some that relate back to your arm. Like Ipsy's one of them. I know several people have tried different ones and nothing's really worked for those people yet. They've been helpful, but they haven't really give you what you want. And but like I said, they're training devices to get more use out of more gains in your fingers. Um, We've got some for the elbows and the shoulder too. I went through a rehab, or my IU neurology, when I was doing my rehab. I went through the robotics division, which they have the robots that help you walk, which I saw people using those and walk on the treadmills. I did the shoulder and wrist robot. It actually would move. You're trying to, you have like a pen device and you're moving around this table, this digital table, and it would measure how much you moved and how much the robot had to help you move. And those could be adjusted by the therapist on how much assistance you get and how much assistance you don't need. And then it also does one with the wrist, where you move your wrist. I mean, it'll do some stretching with your wrist, and then you'll take off and start doing some. You have to start in the middle, and then you got to work over to like a clock thing: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 12, and work things back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Very helpful. Got me moving quite a bit. Gave me a lot of inspiration, a lot of hope that I can regain this. But my shoulder was too stiff. It wasn't locked up as I hear people talk about. My shoulder was too stiff, so I reverted back to doing OT and PT to get my core working better and engaging my core. That is a very big part of regaining the function in your arms and your hands, is the stability through your core to support your shoulder. I've always used the analogy of just like a crane to pick anything up. It has to have a solid core support for a crane to work around and move and pick things up and move things around. So you need this solid support to your core and to your legs to support this, so you can use your arms. And if you're trying to pick stuff up and you don't have the core strength, you just like crunch over, you have no energy to actually pull upward. So I suggest if you're working on anything with your arm yet, make sure you're working your core, your abs, your obliques, your pecs. Make sure your spine. Make sure you're getting stuff good and straight and good and strong, so you're not sitting like this trying to do things. Which, in talking to a few people, I'm still trying not to sneeze. They've had like dislocated elbows. They can't move their hands because the elbow is dislocated. So there is a big connection all the way down. There's something that's not in the right position. It won't work. So if you're not upright and sitting solid, your shoulder's not going to be supported correctly, and it's not going to work right. And it's going to maybe in some cases cause you some pain. So you may want to keep looking at that as you get start doing some sit-ups. They do the Russian twist, where you sit on your butt bones and twist side to side to really work your core. I mean, I didn't think about it at the beginning. Is that big a deal? But down the road, it became a big deal. So I should have worked on it all along to make things feel better. So hopefully that helps everybody out. We'll look at doing some things. We got a couple more days left in this 30 days, so get some more insight on some things and see what happens. All right? Appreciate you guys. Thank you.